Morning. Good morning. Good morning. I almost can't believe that it's Thursday morning. Good morning. This is the morning dew for certified doers just like you. I am Delegate Jackie Hope Glass, Mama, Navy vet, certified doer, and the laced up legislator for the House of Delegates, 93rd District. So grateful and honored to serve. Honored to serve. There, we are post election. And I'm going to give you a little bit of timeline, and then I'm going to give you a little bit of timeline of what we have going on, and then I want to talk about power, I want to talk about pockets, and I want to talk about you, the people's maps. If you got something that you questions, comments, concerns, go ahead and drop them in the chat for me. I'm here for it. I'm here to answer questions. Here to take on, really, this is supposed to be y'all's conversation, so you can lead it. Just ask me the questions, all the good stuff, and I will try to pick up what I can. So grateful to have you, Liz, Tommy. Oh wow, Miss Betty, Krishan, all of you this morning. All right, timeline though, right? Like let's get it. Uh, Election just happened. I'll be back in Richmond on Sunday to we'll be selecting our leadership for our new caucus. Our caucus is the group, right? Our group of political folks that work together. Oh, whiskey. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. So we'll be caucusing on Sunday to select our speaker, our leader, and our chair of our caucus. And then from there, I'll have to legislatively get myself together, and we will be back in Richmond in January 14th to March 14th will be our legislative session. So it's going to be big. As you guys probably know, we won really, really, really big. But on Tuesday, that means there's more voices, more variety of voices. I love to see the voices in the rural areas, especially. That's something that's been missing, a voice that we probably had one or two in the caucus. Shout out to Amy Loeffler, who is like the one farm buddy that I go to learn more about what's going on in rural Virginia on our side of the aisle. But that's where we're at, right? Then what to say. So yes, you'll start seeing stuff from session. If you got any tidbits, anything, go ahead and pass them to me, because my office will probably shut down the second week of December. I like to give my team at least 2 or 3 weeks to like rest up, get themselves together, because when we get back into action, it's full throttle, it's nonstop. So we'll be seeing that. But here's the deal. Some folks woke up this week ready to celebrate a win. Other folks woke up ready to fight, ready to fight for what's next. And I woke up thinking about the grocery store. and even though we had a big win, what does this mean for people? And I don't mean like the fancy kind. I'm talking about the fact that yet and still, when we walk into this session, eggs will still be almost $2.50. And it's like, do you want them? Do you still want them? Inflation, housing, gas, the everyday math right now that don't make sense when your check still looks like last year, or you're an employee, a government employee, or a family that's not getting a check. And that is what people mean when they say economy. That is heavy on my mind right now. It's not a chart that everybody can sort of see. It's the balance between bread and them dollars. And so now in Virginia, we just finished this election, and there's a lot to talk about. Power has really shifted. As Tommy said, it was a blue tsunami. Right? Good morning, y'all. Yeah, the power balance has shifted, and promises are made, and maps will possibly be redrawn, and what we're trying to match fire with fire while also taking care of folks. But if you look past all of the headlines, y'all, and you'll see what we really voted on Tuesday, as I feel, is the right to live decently, right? Like, people just want to live decently, to breathe easy on our own budgets, to be able to stay in the zip code that you grew up in or the one you chose. Like, I think that y'all can tell me, like, what motivated you to vote on Tuesday? Like, what did you walk in thinking? Please drop it in the chat. I would love to hear it, because I'm trying to I've been internalizing what happened. And I know that some of it is the anti-Trump sentiment. Um, but I know that there's more to it than that. I love this. Kevin Williams says 4 out of 5 women voted blue. And yeah, so here's a deal. Here's a good stat. We picked up, I think, 13 seats, and I think 10 of those 13 are women in our caucus. I, 9 or 10 of them are like women who it is wild. Do you hear me? Wild. So yes, Kevin, I'm out here. Thank you for the shout out because I know, but what was your motivation? Please drop it in the chat. Like, what were you thinking? Or an emoji of what was on your mind of why you voted, or maybe did you tell somebody to vote? What was your reasoning? What was your reasoning? I know that we had just come back from the big fight with the maps. I want y'all to understand these maps are not just line. They are like our lives and livelihood. Redistricting decides who hears our cry about rent, about bus routes, who decides if your block gets the grocery store or another payday lender, because that's a whole thing. And it decides really the economic story. And makes it into law. So when we look at what's happening across the country, and I know you guys may have heard about Proposition 50 out in California, which was a huge deal where Californians said, listen, if other states start popping off at the will of the president, we are willing to, if Texas does it, we're willing to do it. So that's California trying to help balance out the power there, because I watched the press conference that the president gave the day after the election. Wednesday morning, he got up and he went and talked to his guys, right? And what he said was, we have to do, and this is coming from the president talking to his people, we have to do everything to make sure that they don't win again. This is like live on TV. He's like, we need to get rid of the filibuster, right? Actually, he said we need to get rid of the filibuster so we can pass all of the voting ID laws, no mail-in voting, all of the laws that they want. They need to get rid of the filibuster just to do that. Does anybody know what a filibuster is? Right. Okay, so let me explain the filibuster, just because I don't want to like talk over anybody's head. So filibuster, it's like a parliamentary procedure in the U.S. Senate to delay. It helps delay or block a vote. We saw a huge one when Cory Booker did it this year. It can block a vote, a bill, a nomination by just prolonging debate. So just dragging the debate along. It can be initiated through like long speeches. It can be triggered by a senator announcing their intent to filibuster, and to overcome a filibuster, a motion. They have to have a motion to end the debate, which is known as, I think, cloture or something like that. But it has to be passed by a supermajority of senators. So you need 60 senators to stop the debate. So here you go, right? Like this is the thing. He said to his boys, we're going to do everything. Let's get rid of the filibuster, which would allow votes to be blocked. Let's start voter ID. Let's do nationwide work to ensure that no one else ever gets the power back. And I need us to understand that, like understand what the plan is and why they want to do it. And I love this. Thank you, Kevin, for putting this. And I asked, why did you go out and vote? Kevin said he's tired of the lies and the BS. We need to return to civility and human decency. I feel you on that. I don't think that you're alone. I think many people are just like, yo, can we just like, where John McCain at? Like, can you just have a different view and not be trying to annihilate the entire lower economic half of the country, right? Like, that's what it is. Kayla says, I didn't want another Republican to control our state while the government is already having a majority hold. Yep. Up at the top, there's a lot of majority hold up there, and it's just not serving us. And I think people are seeing that it has not been serving us. And here's what I like to think is that those folks are scared of losing power. And if we could just understand that power is not pie, it can be shared. Like power is, for better or for worse, the only counter narrative that we have at the national level and from the Republican Party right now is Marjorie Taylor Greene, for whatever her motivations are, right? Like saying the other side of the story. And I think it's like important that that is there, because to Kevin's point, people are like, I'm sick of the BS. People are like, look, Republicans are, and she's saying we're not doing what we're supposed to do. I love to hear it. Charlene says, I voted because of my desire to participate in the democratic practice. I want to have a say in who represents me. And that's amazing. That is, I was telling my son he wanted to vote. He didn't want to vote. And I was like, it's obligatory at this point. It's an obligation. It's a duty. It's like you want to, like paying your bills, right? But that sense of pride, I hope, Miss Charlene, that we get that back, that we are able to give another generation that sense of civic duty and democratic participation, because I feel like just in the young people I talk to, there's a waning of it. It goes both ways. There are ones that are just super excited, super like in the fight. And then there's another swath that are just like, meh, I don't know. I don't know. Tommy said Senate Republicans on Instagram for y'all. Senate Republicans and some of the Dems, unfortunately, really don't want to get of the filibuster. Yeah, we don't want to get rid of it. We want the filibuster. Like we need that still. that helps hold strong. Karen Jenkins says, I voted and I made sure I did cause and shared how important it was to vote. I educated people and told them because who I voted for, because we need people in office who truly care about the lives of the people, of all the people. And I'm with you. Yup. Kevin says we need more doers to fill these vacant seats on Virginia commissions. Yes, Kevin, say it. That's the next thing. This is the way to get us in position. Yeah, give Abigail some great nominees, y'all. We have so many commissions. If you go to, I'm gonna have to look up the website while we sit here, but Virginia has a lot of boards and commissions. I've said this, and I love that Kevin put this out there, from eggs to veterans to what else? I saw the milk commission. Like there are so many things where we need people to both be a part of the democratic process and then also take it a bit further by participating in some of these boards and commissions. That is even at the local level too. I'm saying that like at the local level, it's super important that we get participatory. I'm going to put in the chat, Control C. I'm going to put in the chat the link to where you can look at the boards and commissions that we have in the Commonwealth of Virginia, because I want y'all to, like, that's what we need to do for real. Kevin said, in addition to voting, relationships are made here and our voices are heard and our faces are in places where we can be a force multiplier. And that's the goal, is to become a force multiplier. I'm with you 10,000%. Liz Gross said, I should voted for reproductive rights, because yes, that is still on the ballot. That is still what we got a whole nother the year to go, right? This is the work. So here's what I think is that people are asking what's next, right? We voted, what's next? And my answer is accountability with receipts, right? That is what I feel like is next. We are going to have to remember, whether it's showing up and being on a board or commission, paying attention what's going on in your background. We're going to have to hold power. Well, we better hold it like it's hot. Okay. Like hold on to, we're going to have to hold it. And this isn't just like ribbon cuttings or for cutting cross, but actually helping working people. You all understand some of the toughest spaces. Well, I'll say this, some of the toughest places to work in are spaces where you're with your own people and you have to do the hard work. Right. So we're going to have a lot of Dems with a lot of different voices with very different walks of lives trying to govern together. Right. We are the big tent. That's why sometimes it's a little bit more difficult for us to make decisions and do things together, because we have a myriad where we are not homogenous. We do not all kind of look the same or share the same skin. I mean, that is the case that literally is the case. They lost their one Black Republican this past election, but that's the case, is that they all live in European skin. And they, I don't know if they have very many women. They're mostly white men, and they can find some things where they find synergy much easier than we do, because we've had the gamut of faith, the gamut of culture, ethnicity, and regions right in our midst, trying to make decisions. So it is going to be up to you all. And I'm saying this, don't think just because Dems are in that I can breathe easy. There's still a level of accountability that we have to have, right? For paychecks that are being stretched, for housing, for to make sure that ain't nobody hustling folks. And again, let me just say this: for me, it has never been about party. It has been about people. The election's over, but the work ain't. Democracy does not clock out. Okay. It does not clock out after the polls close. It's the follow-up emails that you all need to make about the issue that's important to you. It's the city council meetings that you got to be at to make sure they ain't with the, I was going to say what the fuck shit, but that's the truth, to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do. It's the phone call to your delegate asking, hey sis, where's the affordable housing fund did you promise, right? Like where the money going at, where, like, that is what I dire need from you. If we draw these what's going to put us in sort of a whirlwind is seeing what these other states are going to do, knowing that there was such a blue wave across the country. I'm willing to bet that the president is going to double down on telling them to redraw these maps so that they can retain power in the House of Representatives. And that means that's going to trigger some very fragile things are going to happen to our democracy, where we're going to all start redrawing if the voters come back and say in Virginia that that's something that they want to do. They want us to fight fire with fire, then we're going to fight fire with fire. California has already made that decision, and other states, I know that Maryland has, the governor has erected a commission, but I know that there's some folks who don't want to do that, because no matter what we do, our democracy is going to be fragile, but we just have to choose if we're going to fight or just cede power to the president, right? Are we just going to cede the power to him? And that's that's how I was able to make my vote, is that I'm not interested in ceding power to anyone. I'm interested in the balance of power, right? And I don't think that is the case at the executive level of our government, right? At all. So, Karen Jenkins says, I appreciate you for your heart and your voice. Back at you, babe. I mean it. This is the work. We all are doing it. You will have walked beside me, so you know. Oh, I know you. Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. As Tommy says, even with that walking beside each other, Karen, it is time to organize. It is time to really start thinking about how we hold our own people accountable in a way that they can continue to do the work. Because I will say this, I've learned this from being a politician, and I mostly consider myself a stateswoman, is that while many of us have kind hearts, most politicians don't do anything out of their kindness of their heart, and they can't do all the things out of the kindness of their heart. They do it out of pressure. So put the pressure on, y'all. It's needed. You got to put the pressure on. It makes decisions a lot easier when you got your community saying hell yes or hell no, like putting it on us. This is where you're needed, getting your people figure out what your thing is. So this morning, I want us to ask ourselves this morning is, how am I going to use what I got? And I've asked, this is what I'm resonating with me. And I want you to ask yourself, how am I going to use what I have? What I got, how do I use it? Whether it's my voice, whether it's your vote, or it's your village, how am I going to use it to make somebody's life, or even advocate for my own life, to be a little less expensive and a little more livable? Because that's what I'm hearing across the gamut. Is like, I deserve a quality of life. You deserve a quality of life, and really defining what quality is, because that is ultimately what our democracy is designed to do. It was not designed to divide us, but it was designed to multiply hope. That's what we're doing, is that we're trying to multiply the hope within each other. But work can't stop just because we feel like we won. We won. That is how that works. So Kevin says MLK Memorial Commission meets today. Are you on that commission? So that's a beautiful thing. Thank you, Kevin, for bringing up the commissions and things. I think that's super important. I really want people, and I put the link in the comments. Roll these sleeves up, he said, and get engaged. No time for complacency. But here's what I want to say too, is like, if you're out there and you're thinking, well, Jackie, like I got stuff and things. The thing about it is you don't have to be brilliant on all of the things. And I'm not asking you to be a part of all the big movements or all the marches or all the things. What I'm saying is figuring out what is so important to you. Like, what is it? What is the thing that speaks to your heart that you get up? Like, again, for me, I told y'all, I got up this morning thinking about like groceries. I got to go grocery shopping again. And how it's like this, you have this little bag. You have this little bag of $50 and it's like, it feels like there's nothing in it, right? Like that is killing me right? These days. And I know it's not just me. But what's the thing? And I need you to take a step with it, right? Even if it's mailing or emailing your representatives, remind us what you need us to do. And that's a small step. I'm telling you, even if don't worry about how perfect the email is. It ain't got to be perfect. Just say, hey, I know y'all just won. I know that this is the House. So looking up, if you don't know who your delegate is, then go to who'smylegislator.com, and or you can go to Norfolk Air if you're in Norfolk Air.norfolk.gov, and you can see who your representative is and just tell them, if it's just this, I want you to be thinking about this because it is important to me and I'm your constituent. That's good enough. That's good enough, because some folks, they walk away from their community and they get nothing else, right? Like that's the thing. We have to show up. Yup. Show up. I love this, Kevin. You're in it today. And see, yeah, we have to see, like there are going to be some new people in the work. And here's the deal, is you got new people in the work that really are plugged into their communities. But I need you. I am telling you, we need you, or else we'll be guided by the whims of one or two people. And I can tell you what Northern Virginia needs isn't exactly the same as what Hampton Roads needs, which isn't exactly the same as what Southwest Virginia needs. Like for real, y'all we gotta stop hearing from the same. I'm not gonna say stop hearing from. I love to hear from people who consistently write in. I've got my folks that I know will tell me, but it is you doers in this space that are needed more than ever. I would love to hear what's the thing that you want us to fight for, right? Or what you want us to work towards. What is it that now that we've got this big blue wave, we've got the governor, we've got the lieutenant governor, we've got the attorney general, we've got the entire legislature. We are reflective of the polar opposite of what the federal government looks like here in Virginia. If you're in Virginia, because I know some of you are not, but we are reflective on the other end of the spectrum. What do y'all want? What, and it can be one word, drop it in the chat. What do we need to be doing? What's top of mind? What do you hope that we accomplish? Because our terms, so that you know, the term for a delegate is 2 years, right? So I will have every other year I'm on the ballot. So I got 2 years to do some work. If I told you I got 2 years to make some things happen, what would you have me do in those 2 years? Drop it in the comments. And I'll talk a little bit to allow some time for you guys to drop your thing in the comment. I really want to hear it, right? If somebody told you got 2 years, no barriers, right? The only barrier you got is yourself and money, right? Because money is a limitation. Let's just be real. Money right now is a limitation. And we've got to get ourselves in a position to be able to take care of ourselves because of what's happening at the federal government. But if money was an object, right? Knowing that your cost is limited, what would you ask of your leadership to do at the state level? The governor, the lieutenant governor, and the attorney general, those are 4-year positions, as well as the Senate. The House is the only one that rotates every 2 years at the state level. I would love to hear it. What do you want? What would you want to slap us upside the head and be like, yo, get it done. Get it done. Okay, so Michael guess. Hey, Michael, welcome. Michael says, healthy food, legalization of cannabis, stop petty crime and violent crime. All right. Yep. Got it. So healthy food. And that is, look, we need to get up because I'm trying to work on these school lunches. I've got some people that want to, we've got a lot of food. You're in the 757. What city are you in, Michael? Maybe I can connect some dots too on some folks that are working on healthy food. Unless you've got a lane, if you got a lane that you want me to shout out or folks that you work with, I'll shout them out too. I love that Kevin said this because when she just mentioned cannabis, is that there are commissions for the little things, farmers, fishermen, foster care, veterans, cannabis, energy. You guys can also watch in on some of those commissions to see what the state is doing, what we are or are not doing. So look at those commissions. I love that your representative is Cliff Hayes. Yeah. But your circle influence is the certified doer area. Let's go. Certified doer, get it done. Mel said insurance reform. A lot of people don't know that the state level that deals in insurance, right? Both in medical insurance, car insurance, like we guide things that happen at the state level with insurance. So I love that you said that. A lot of folks don't know how we can help. Just like last year, we helped make sure that doula care is covered by insurance and things like that. Like, I love Mel, and I would love to hear, Mel, I miss you. If there's more, I would love to hear more specifically. Are you talking about healthcare insurance? Are you talking about auto insurance? Because Lord knows, when I was in Florida, my auto insurance covered my windshields because they were always doing work on the roads. And I was like, why Virginia? Virginia always got construction. Why I got to pay for it? I done had 2 windshields broke. So yes. Oh, Rakita, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. And then Kevin says, whatever returns us to civility, human decency, and better foster care and foster children. So I'll tell you, I've got 2 colleagues that do a lot of work on, actually, is it 2? More so kinship care and foster care. So Delegate Tata, she's a Republican. She represents parts of Virginia Beach. She has done a lot of work with like foster care, foster kids. So like staying abreast. I'm looking at some work that we might do together. I don't know if you know this, but last year I brought a bill that said that children whose parents have passed away, that the foster care system has to essentially establish a trust for their money. What was happening is the state funds foster care, and that doesn't come at a cost to the child. We pay for foster care, but if a child has a benefit, whether it's a military death benefit or SSGLI, I can't remember, or Social Security death benefit, the state was collecting that and using that as payment to take care of the child. The child would leave foster care with nothing, even though that was a death benefit to get them on their feet or to whatever. So I brought the bill that altered to where they cannot at 13, they have to establish a trust for the child. So the child would leave with part of that. It's not their fault their parent died, and no one should be taken. We as the state shouldn't be taking that away from them, which I was really excited about. So there's some of us who really are working in foster care. I said this because Kevin talked about better foster parents and foster care and get in. And big deal, Kevin, we have a delegate, and her name is Stacy Carroll up in the Stafford area that just got elected. She does a lot of work in foster care. She's a foster mom. I would highly encourage you to look her up, Stacy Carroll. Even start following her. She's also a Marine, a veteran. Okay, Michael Guest said he is in Norfolk. So Michael, I am going to encourage you, if you haven't looked up the Norfolk Food Council, if you've not heard of them, Norfolk Food Council, I would also encourage you to connect the dots with FEAST. FEAST is Food, Education, Access, Sustaining Together. They teach people about how to live and cook and eat. Her name is Bev Sell, if you're not already familiar with Bev Sell, but she does that program called Feast, which has been amazing. I'm trying to think of else. CUSP. That's KUSP, CUSP, a woman by the name of Jay Boone, who has been doing a lot of work in the food area on the South Side. So you've got Feast, CUSP, and the Food Policy Council. Those are three spaces in Norfolk that I think, like, if you want to plug in with some doers that are just getting it done in that area, those are a couple folks that you can get involved with, and especially the Food Policy Council. That's a Norfolk council, similar boards, commissions, and authorities. That's one of those things that you might want to be a part of, or just get locked into. Okay. Mel Garman says, hey, insurance premiums seem to be unregulated. If insurance of any kind is required by law, the law should also be in place to ensure that it works for the benefit of the consumer at an affordable rate. Yeah, it feels very predatory. I can tell you, I have TRICARE because of military, and I keep getting bills because the insurance is not covering certain things, or even the fact that people are stopping, like certain providers are stopping taking insurance from folks. But yes, so I would say on the insurance front, I'm trying to think of who our leaders are in the caucus. I want to say Delegate Mark Sickles is a leader in the caucus on that. I want to say that he's the person that has been leading on that, but I don't want to. He leads what's called the Health and Human Service. So Mel, if you take a look at all of the committees, y'all, we have like 14 committees. 14 committees for 14 different subject areas. One of them is Health and Human Services, and much of the health insurance piece goes through that committee. They do. So be on the lookout in case there's any bills, but also tap in. I would say tap in. The vice chair of Health and Human Services, I believe, is Delegate Kathy Tran. I don't want to tell a fib, but I believe so. But I can get you plugged in to just paying attention to what we're doing at the state level and the advocacy. And if there's groups that you might be able to advocate with for exactly that. Kevin mentioned, I think before, like, hey, commission meetings are also open to the public. So just as I was just telling you, Michael, about the Food Policy Council, these they're open. So if you just want to be in the know about what's going on in that specific area, it is okay for you to show up and be present. And you're hitting the nail on the head, Kevin. Better programs for senior citizens and elder care to include increased programs for seniors to shelter in place in their home safely. That is a big deal. I can tell you that's something that I've been seeing a lot more. I've been seeing a lot more unhoused young people and elders. That has been, and elders. And feeding elders in a way that is making me like, I'm pinching the penny to have the fund. I'm trying to like build a little side pocket so that I could go feed some of these folks. But if you've got some senior citizens that need some, or seasoned, citizens that need some support, I'm going to highly recommend you all contact Senior Service of Southeast Virginia. They are like a one-stop shop. All of the resources, whether it's getting to appointments, getting food, just having a companion, and even the home piece, get in with it's Senior Services of Southeast Virginia, SS. And you probably see, if you're in the area, you probably see their vans going around. It's like SS. You'll see the bunch of S's on the side of the van. They're red, white, and blue. Absolutely. King since birth. I love it. Hey, King. Hey, King. King since birth said transportation getting around Virginia faster, more efficient, and stable. When you were talking my language, if you want to holler at me, like I've been in the trenches over, better HRT, just better roads. Everybody deserves a driver. And I don't think that we should be the tolls, the roads, all of that. So I'm here for it, King since birth. And I sit on transportation committee. Remember, I talked about those committees. I am on the transportation committee, which I absolutely love, adore, and have grown to find transportation to be a love language. So I'm here for it. I don't know where you at in Virginia, King since birth, but if you want to talk some transportation, please hit me up. We need more advocates. We need more people who use the system to say, hey, it's not really serving us. We got to do better and hold our folks accountable to do better. Mel says she's living in Ohio now, but plugged in whenever I can. I love to hear from you. Your constituents are luckiest in the nation. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Mel. We be trying over here. The doers be trying to do well for each other. And love, I'm a Midwest girl, so I send my little Midwest girl heart love out to you in Ohio. In Ohio. All right, y'all. What y'all got? What do we have? What do we? I'm gonna get ready to wrap up here. Wow, Kevin, thank you for so much participation today. Mel as well. Ms. Roslyn, thank you for the congratulations. I receive it. I receive it. Kayla, you as well for your comments. Thank you, King Since Birth. I look forward to hearing from you, all of you. Michael, welcome. And Karen Jenkins actually ran 2 years ago. And Tommy, you too, all of y'all, we really appreciate you. Remember, like, doers get more done. And this is the morning dew for certified doers just like you. Doers get more done. I believe it. I receive it. I would say, Michaela, seriously, if you want to connect, my email is, I'm going to put it, Del J Glass at house. I'm typing, y'all, .virginia.gov. I hope I did this all right. Del J Glass at house. If I could spell, I'd be dangerous. How about that G in Virginia? All right, I'm gonna put my email in there. Would love. I'm here for it. I need more people working on public transportation. I need people to understand transportation is not a poor man's game. Do you hear me? It is. I'm so much more efficient when I was able to use transportation back in the Chicagoland area. It's how I read books. It's how I did my homework. It was how I met people. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it is not just for people that need it. I'm a choice rider and I want to be able to ride. Kayla said, I would love to fight back against developers. I know it's a city, but I'd like to see if it's possible. Absolutely. But that's the thing. And I want it because she said, I know that it's a city thing. Here's what I'm telling y'all. If we can get cities to operate better by people, that helps us at the state level. It helps guide some of the work that we do at the state level. So I'm telling you is that what you got to do is recognize it starts in your own backyard. It is not this big, there's so much going on at the national level that I need you to pare it down. I need you to think about just on my little block, what is important to us right now, and can I create a change? I am being really fair when I say I am only in this work because I was inquisitive. I was inquisitive, and that's how I got into this work. I asked somebody, these kids on the bus stop, why y'all keep doing y'all homework on the bus stop? So start locally, right? With how your community, to Kayla's point, is like there are developers that are just doing whatever they want to do. But here's the thing about doing whatever they want to do. They have to get permission, right? The cities, the planning commissions, people have to give them permission to do the things that they want. And then you may find sometimes that at the state level, we may be handicapping. So you may be like, the state doesn't allow my city to hold people accountable to this level. That's when you start that advocating up. But getting to know how they even get, how developers go from an idea to bricks on the ground is so important for us, right? Good morning, Sierra. No transitions. I don't have them. Good morning, Sierra. I love you. I miss you. Good morning. So, yep, Veteran Business Advocacy. If you haven't seen a VBOC, the Veteran Business Outreach Center, there's one at ODU. I love that you put that in there, that there are those spaces where we can get some veteran resources if you're looking for them. And then Kayla says, more initiatives for young people to find housings. The studies are showing young people are staying home longer. That's a fact. And as a mother who loves her kids, I want them to stay home, but I also want them to have their interdependence, because I don't believe in teaching dependence or independence. It's interdependence, understanding and recognize that we do have a need for each other, but it's not all the time, that we are able to have some autonomy and do things for ourselves, but we also sometimes need help from other people. So that interdependence, not stealing it away from them by creating a market, a housing market or a job market that doesn't allow space for them. I feel like there is an initiative that I just saw. It's either nope, that was for creatives. I think it was in Texas. I'm going to look it up, but that is looking at that specifically of how do we create a housing market that allows new new buyers and new renters to enter into it. Keep me honest on that, Kayla, for real. I'm going to look at, it may have been something I saved on Instagram and looked up, but we actually need you in that fight too. Because I'll tell you, like, the people are thinking, well, you can just go home. Well, what if I don't want to? What if home is not a place that, that serves me? So absolutely, the housing piece. I would also recommend, while you're in the area, Kayla, is following cityworks.io. There's a man by the name of Alex Fella is a researcher, and he does a lot of research on the housing market and like what it costs to live here in the Hampton Roads area. So even as you think about what do you do after you graduate, is this an area that you want to spend some advocacy in? Being close to people who are able to get the data, right? Because we fight with our facts and our feelings. We need both the head and the heart argument when we're doing this work. Is being close to those folks can help really articulate the true essence of the problem, while you can say, this is what it does to me as a person, marry that up to be a better advocate. That's a great sentiment. That is definitely a place where we need to be considering. Kingston's verse said, I live in Stanson, but I'll DM. Yeah, I love it. Please do. Hey, a transportation across the place, Kingston'sburg. It don't matter. I want to be able to get to Stanson by train or by bus. I hope I'm saying it. Sandston. Well, I'm forgetting the D. Sandston. I'm gonna look that up on the map because I have no idea where that is, Kingston'sburg. I have no idea where that is. Okay, so Michaela said, I've been in the hunt for my own independence, but prices are so high from 20 years ago. It feels impossible, especially as a young person knowing or understanding business. Michaela, I hear you. And that's the same thing Kayla was saying. Like, it is hard out here. And that, I'm saying I woke up with that. What I would love to do is, like, maybe we need to brain blast. Maybe we need to figure out, what does that look like to truly sort of specialize and invest in a way, or even if it's small investments, to get an understanding of what's happening, right? Like, I'm feeling it out too, and I'm telling you, I'm having all the feelings about it. And I'm trying to make sure that my feelings, I need to get the facts about it so that I can move forward in the session. But again, I will say this, and I will keep saying this, is that you all, we need you to put the pressure on. They're kind politicians, but they cannot do everything out of the kindness of their heart. They need the pressure. And it doesn't have to be a fancy email. It just has to be direct and very clear about what it is that you need and want to see. Okay. And then I'd love to, as we get closer to session, I'll start teaching you guys how to testify, how to pay attention to what bills are coming up, because that too is important. That is also important. Okay. All right. So yeah. Okay. Near Henrico Airport. Oh, see, I didn't even know. Kingston's verse said that Sandston is near Henrico. I didn't even know. I be passing there all the time. David James, I'd love to connect you, and you are wicked smart. Thanks for hopping on here. He says, David James on Instagram, you guys can't see those comments. All new construction is these large $300,000 houses, and we need little 800 starter homes again. That is a fact. I believe it might have been Chicago. Yes, it was in Chicago that they eliminated parking requirements. So they eased the parking requirements for developers, except for, I think, in the downtown area. What that does is allow them to build more near transit, build more capacity. But here's the deal. I'm telling you, I would live in a tiny home if I could. I would downsize the F out of my life. And that is, to Kayla's point, was talking about just getting people started and finding houses. We need more of that. That's going to take some advocacy, because we've been fighting over accessory dwelling units, or ADUs, right? People being able to, I'm trying to make sure that I explain this to you guys. So, ADUs are called accessory dwelling units, and they're like a single family primary unit on the same property as another house. It can be attached or it can be detached, but it's essentially another separate living space where there's already a house. So if I wanted to take on the side of my house, I've got some land and I wanted to build a smaller little house right out there that connects to my house, maybe so my mom can live out there. That would be called an ADU, an accessory dwelling unit. Like, and I know kids like, I don't want to go back with my parents. Don't nobody want to go back with their parents or with family. That's also fine. But just getting people understanding why these things are important, why we need to use the land that we have. So to David James's point is smaller housing that's more affordable, and also building materials better. I'm going to, it's in my email. Kayla, keep me honest. I have an email about this very issue about building. I sent it to two of my colleagues who's in housing, but I want to share that with you so that you have that resource and maybe connect some dots. Yes, I would love to do something. I'm here for that. Michaela, if you want me to do, I have this thing called Summer School for Certified Doers or Back to School for Certified Doers, where I demystify the entire legislative process. I'm here for do it. I've done it for churches. I've done it for summer camps. I've done it for civic leagues. I've done it for nonprofit organizations just to help them understand the legislative process. I'm here for it. You just need to reach out to my office and ask if I have the bandwidth. I'll go ahead and do it. And I've even compressed it down. It's like it's about a 4-hour course of the legislative process that we go through. And I can condense it down to the need to knows and the nice to knows if necessary. Yeah, Norfolk just, David James class said, Norfolk just eased ADU reds, looking forward to the GA passing relaxed setback requirements, hoping to get one on my property next year. Love it for you, David James. We still need that advocacy. So I need you, David, to be sending messages to, we call the committee is called the Committee on General Laws, to the folks that sit on that committee and saying, hey, we need ADUs, we need ADUs, we need ADUs. We need to be able to build tiny homes. We need to we need to allow for innovation in construction, build like 3D printed homes so that it costs less to build. We need all of that. So I'm here for it. I need that advocacy. Get to it. Robin, thank you. Robin said, congratulations. I appreciate you. You know, so when I hear it, I'm still grateful because I know people think, oh, you didn't have a contender. Well, I'm trying to earn this every day. So I received the congratulations. Boniface, all the way out in Africa. I love you. Super congratulations to the People's Delegate. Oh, thank you. We appreciate you. Boniface, you got to make sure you keep us abreast on how we can help you all the way. I don't know what time it is in Africa, and I know you be up and at it. So, thank you for joining us. Also, you make sure you let us know how I can shout out to the doer community about anything that we can do to support you over in the motherland, okay? I appreciate you. So Kevin Williams asks, how do we help you prepare for the upcoming General Assembly, particularly with bills that need to make it over the finish line this year, or showing up to help testify on issues? That's exactly. So I'll get into that once I figure out what I'm bringing. I will, I'm working on some things, and next week we'll sort of be pulling things together to figure out what we want to do. Okay. But I want you to figure out, the best thing you all can do right now is say, hey, here's what's important to me. Where do I go to look at the legislation for that? And we can point you in the right direction, and then start thinking about what it looks like to, either write in information, because you can do written testimony, you can do in-person face-to-face, and you can do online testimony, all those different things to make your voice be heard. It does matter. It really does matter. Yeah, to support, that'll allow you to support any delegate on any bill. So that's what I'm saying. Y'all find your area that matters the most, and then we can get you plugged in. And I love this. We'll start paying attention more. David James, I love this, corner lots, right? Application processes, red tape, let's do it. Thank you, Sierra. You earned your seat, and we're happy to have you. I'm so grateful. It's such a big win, and that's why we're here on Thursday for the Morning Dew, saying it was a big win, yes, and, right? Yes, and the and is that we got to do what we're supposed to do, right? We've got to be a force multiplier for hope. And the work that we do is not It is not done. This is why we need to ask when we think about the what's next. Again, the answer is accountability with receipts. You're going to have to hold us accountable. And I know that, and I know that, but I know that it's going to be pretty and ugly at the same time, because the moment that we won this big, we put a target on our back at the federal level. Now, while I was out, not necessarily campaigning, but like going to the poll stations and things like that, I was getting messages about, what's happening with ICE in our community. I'm saying this because I want to end on this, because I want doers to understand how they can be helpful. There isn't a lot. I know the Hampton Roads can be very sleepy in a sense on other issue, because there's such an underbelly of the white versus black, the wealthy versus the non-wealthy here. Like it's there's a lot of that, right? And those two sort of go hand in hand with how this region operates. The federal government is in this region. I attended the funeral for the young man who was killed when he got hit by a car running from ICE last week. And at the funeral, I thought to myself, every single person in here is taking a risk by coming to this funeral right now, just because they look Hispanic or Latino. Every last one of them. And then I looked at the children and thought, I don't know what the children of the civil rights movement and pre-Reconstruction and the children that sat in the funerals and the children that watched their parents cry. It was heartbreaking, but also who is doing the work. And so I'm going to ask you all, there's a woman in our community. Her name is Patricia Bracknell. I'm going to say her name again, Patricia Bracknell. She started an organization called the Chamber for Hispanic Progress. And she has been holding this on her back, getting lawyers for folks that are being taken to detention centers, because I'll tell you, the way they're doing it at these detention centers is they're making it a civil crime. And when it's a civil crime, you're not entitled to a lawyer. You're not entitled to representations. You're not entitled to anything. So there are folks locked up right now that are not able to call their family, are not able to even get there. There's nothing. So she's been getting low. So she's now being inundated, and I know this too, because when I write back to somebody that's incarcerated, my box, when I go to the post office, gets flooded with other folks who are incarcerated, like trying to get me to help them, because there are not a lot of people out there. So I want to support her work. If you guys could share with other people that the Chamber for Hispanic Progress, that work is not free. Even if you can give $5 to the chamber, because she is my plug into the community. It has been since I met her in this area, has helped me get access to folks non-English speaking, but also just new Americans, and specifically the Hispanic and Latino community. Patricia is holding it down. And I'm also afraid. And that's what after I left the funeral, I started to cry, because I'm worried that because she has an accent and because she looks as Mexican as can be, okay, and what she is, that she could be taken, even though she is a U.S. citizen. So I want to support that work. So I'm asking you all if you can give a little to the Chamber for Hispanic Progress. Patricia Bracknell, you can go follow her. Well, she don't put a lot of this stuff. She don't put this stuff out she does everything through the organization. She doesn't put this stuff on her page, but yeah, it may get worse before it gets better, because we went the opposite way of the federal government, who is into political vendettas, who is willing to take it there. And so that's why we're preparing ourselves to have to fight fire with fire. And we appreciate y'all rocking with us. Okay. We do. I look forward. Me too. Good day. Breathe. Absolutely. Kevin, breathe. We all need to do it. Miss Charlene. I'm looking for some common sense in the education area too. I'm hoping we've started some conversations, but our chair, I think, is Sam Rasul, if he's still the chair, and Shelley Simons is the vice chair of education. So really sort of getting on them about, let's be real smart, because funding has been taken from a program area where we're already failing our kids significantly, especially in our area, special ed education. Okay. Yeah, it really broke my heart. We got to continue the marking. Art Harrington said we must continue to marketing and branding, taking people every day and sharing. Yeah, they're kidnapping. I just got another video where uh, they snatched up the dad and then they drove the car off with the kid in it. I was like, are they taking people's cars now too? What in the what? So yeah, it is that. So we need to make sure we're supporting the people that are able to do the work, because I know it can be scary to think about speaking out on certain things. I get that. I try not to let fear be the master of me, but I get scared too. I get nervous too. So when there are people bold enough to do the work, let's make sure that we support them. Yeah. Oh, you said we need a listing of orgs like Patricia so we can share the info and how to support them. Yeah. Okay. All right. I hear that. I hear that. So, oh, good morning. Oh my goodness, y'all. We have a celebrity in the building. Delegate-elect Jessica Anderson's on the live. Please, y'all, send y'all congratulations to her. She just got elected on Tuesday, beating out somebody that shouldn't have been there in the first place. Up in the Williamsburg area. Please give our sister her love this morning. We need her voice. If you don't already follow her, it's Jessica Anderson for Virginia. She does what we do here, but much more consistently than I do, just explaining things on, and she's actually on TikTok. I think she's on TikTok. Jessica, I think you're on TikTok. I'm not, but Jessica is, it breaks things down. That thing that doers want to do, want to learn. Her page is a great place to be, and I'll try to share her stuff. You're getting all the congratulations. Yeah, all the congratulations to you. Let's go. Can you write her name and org down? Yes, I will. I'll make sure I write her name and org down. But I'm scared. I'll just say that. I'm just worried that she's going to get picked up or something. It's not even a game out here. But what I'm going to end on is, because we can't do this all morning, and I would too, because I know how the feelings are. And just like Kevin said in the chat over here, that what is on high? Gosh, I can't even think. Anxiety is high. I hope I'm spelling her name right. I think I'm spelling it right. And it's the Chamber for Hispanic Progress. I'm going to type this in and do my outro, because I know we all got to get to work. We all got stuff. I appreciate y'all hanging in there with me today. Appreciate y'all hanging there with me today. We got work to do, and I'm excited about doing it with you. I'm super excited about doing it with you. Super excited about how we doers get more done. Oh, thank you, PJ. I appreciate you. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Chelsea. Oh, another. Some of you guys talked about cannabis on the. I can't remember if it was Michael or Mark or someone. They talked about cannabis. Your best bet, I'm telling you, talk to Chelsea Higgs Wise. Go to VA Marijuana Justice, like for real. Like that is the work. This woman, I've seen her late nights at the General Assembly trying to. Can you put your information in there too for the folks that cannabis came up several times in the conversation earlier, and I should have shouted you out, but you're here. Please, I really dig your company. We want to make sure that that gets put out there. All the congratulations to Jessica. Yeah. Follow THC Justice now. Follow us. Yeah, I've had a great virtual. Oh man. Yeah. Anytime, make sure I'll do my best to sort of keep abreast so that I can keep you guys plugged in, because I've got a lot of people in community asking about cannabis. And would love to make sure you stay connected. So if you're one of those folks, please, Chelsea is the woman, right? And follow their pages. Nah, but you got it. You got it. All right. Plenty. Yeah. Yep. We're hoping to get a market, y'all. Ooh, fingers crossed. We're hoping to get a market. All right. Until next time, PJ. Oh, it doesn't. No, I didn't know that was you, Paletra. MarijuanaJustice.org, y'all. MarijuanaJustice.org. There we go. David, you should already be plugged in for it. Look, let me tell you something. David James, I want to say this. I'm gonna keep saying I want to say this and I'm gonna be done. I'm gonna be done. David, during last session, reached out to my office and was like, I'm looking at the new bill. I'm looking at the bill. I swear it to you. He said, and I'm a glass maker. And he makes bongs, right? And you can beat me up, correct me if I'm wrong, David. But what David said is, look, y'all are about to charge us upwards to 10, 12, I can't remember the percentage, like on paraphernalia, which means how can I actually make money doing this? And so he wrote the office and I was like, okay, well, let me go talk to the patron about it. I talked to the patron about it and I was like, hey, I had a constituent reach out to me and say, hey, you guys, this is in the bill. And I found it and highlighted. And I'm like, so what is that? Why is that extra? And he's like, you know what? We're going to take it out. It was just that simple. It really was just David saying, yup. It was just David was like, look, why y'all doing this? And that's sometimes all it takes. We don't know. Why would I have known? I'm not to be being funny because I didn't see the legislation. And just so that you understand, I'm focused on the things that are coming before me. I don't necessarily dig into other pieces of legislation until I know I'm going to have to vote on it. I would have never known. It was not on my radar, but being connected to David made me smarter, right? And was able to advocate. And David was like, I was just like, hey, David, he gonna take it out. That's it. That's it. And it was just that simple. So it's not always that simple, but that does not mean you shouldn't try, because this is the work, right? This is where we're going from here. I love it. I'm super grateful for you all. I mean it. We are the work. And I see BZ on here. Thank you. It has been such a light, and it will be helping us sort of get some folks together. We got our elections coming up within house, and I believe that we're going to do some better things, but really helping me understand that what we say to y'all, BZ, thank you. What we say to you all, how we say it to you all, right? How we say it to y'all matters, and giving ourselves situational awareness to do better work is everything. Connecting is key. Communication is key. Understanding that this is our space and place, right? Oh, love it. And strategy. And so the more that we do the connection here, the better the work that we do out there. And I'm telling you, there are people that we're going to have to put some things aside. We're going to have to take them steps forward with each other. I know we can do it. I know we can. All right. So until next time, I'm for real this time, because it's been over an hour, and that is crazy. Crazy talk. I'm Delia Jackie Hope Glass, Mama, Navy vet certified, doing the laced up legislator for the House of Delegates, 93rd District. Happy to serve another term for you. Grateful. It has been a wild ride, and I know it's going to keep going, but I know we're in it for the right reasons. All right. Y'all be well. Take care of yourself. You know, you can reach out to the office if there's ever anything you need. Go do great and be great. And I'm going to let this dog out. Bye, y'all. Want to go out?